And hello, welcome to Open, the show that opens the Bronx and the rest of the world right to you. I am Daren, Jaime. Today we'll update you on what's happening in and around our borough, as well as New York City. Coming up, we'll explore how a public charter high school is equipping scholars for higher education while nourishing their leadership skills. And then following that, we'll look into healthy food alternatives that are igniting individuals' health journeys. Later on in the show, we'll discuss a video content marketing strategy that's integrating storytelling with the science of engagement. And then we sit down with the founder of the James W. Foley Legacy. She'll explore her personal experience with international hostage situations and her journey of coping with loss. And then finally, you'll learn about what to expect from this year's McDonald's Gospelfest. We'll have more details a little bit later on in the show. So stay tuned, because all this and much more is heading your way, because right now we're officially open. And hello, everyone. I am Daren, Jaime, and you're now watching Open, a live program that's bringing the Bronx and New York City straight to you. We also want to welcome our viewers to the Manhattan Neighborhood Network, as Open is being broadcast simultaneously on MNN's channels. You can also stay connected to us on all of our social media platforms at BronxNet TV. Some things have been going on through the course of the past week. We'll take you through it with some Bronx updates. And we start off with COVID-19 news. New York City public schools are no longer mandating a 5-day quarantine period for individuals testing positive for COVID-19. According to the new guidelines, a child with COVID-19 should remain home for at least 24 hours, similar to protocols for other respiratory illnesses like the flu. School authorities emphasize that children must stay home until they are fever-free, without medication, and show improvement in other COVID-19 symptoms. Now, despite the lifted mandate, health experts advise caution upon receiving a positive test result. Symptom-free children who test positive can also attend school, but wear masks continuously. In other news, rent-stabilized housing laws originally set to expire on April the 1st will now remain in effect until April 2027. New York City Mayor Eric Adams and the New York City Council recognize the crucial importance of these laws in the current housing market and improve the extension. Mayor Adams emphasized the significance of these laws, pointing out that the city's vacancy rate stands at 1.4%, which drops even lower for affordable housing. A housing emergency is acknowledged by the city when the vacancy rate of rental housing stock falls below 5%. And in transit news, the MTA aims to enhance bus safety through its innovative security monitor screen pilot program. Now, presently, there's more than 100 buses throughout the city, and they're in the process of being equipped with high-definition LCD screens positioned near the entry stairwell. MTA officials are strategically deploying these buses along the routes with the highest incidence rates of assaults, as well as other misdemeanors, to properly capture any such incidents. Well, that's all the time we have for our Bronx updates. We are taking a quick break, but guess what? Stay with us. We'll have more Open when we return.
I remember when the Bronx did not really have a media outlet properly representing the people of the Bronx.
BronxNet provides for the community by being a community where people can be empowered to share their voices.
We are in a really great place technologically. We've got all the resources that we need to be effective.
Whether it's through cameras, storytelling, editing, we have provided those services for 30 years.
BronxNet's mission is to be a voice for the community.
To educate, to inform, and to inspire.
And you can be a part of it. We've built studios for you.
Congratulations, BronxNet, on 30 years. You started when I was born. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. This is Verona, the dancing reporter for Create Your World, and I thank BronxNet for being here to help me produce my show.
And welcome back. The International Leadership Charter High School implements an academically rigorous college preparatory curriculum that's elevating students' intellectual capacity and providing a superior high school education to prepare scholars for that higher education. Join me now. We've got the International Leadership Charter High School's Director of Parent and Parent and School Community Engagement, Edilis Gonzalez, and also the Director of Operations, Desiree Grand, and thank you so much for sharing with us. And
thank you for having me.
That's a whole lot in one title. You got me.
Yes, that means a lot of responsibility too.
Yes. Well, tell me this, because you guys are also the first, I know, public charter high school, right?
Yes.
That's in the Bronx. And so how does that set you aside from everybody else?
I believe that what makes us different is like you said, we're the first charter high school in the Bronx that provide the community to the best opportunity to have options as a parents. Like for example, when we opened in the school in 2006, we gave you that opportunity to parents the option, because at that time they don't have an option. Me as a parent, I don't have an option at that time because my daughter also graduated from our school. So she was the first cohort in our school. So I received that opportunity along of other 88 parents who also enrolled their children in our school at that time.
That's beautiful. So when we talk about curriculum, right, what is the curriculum like for students who are actually attending school?
Sure. So we are a college prep high school, and we're preparing our students to attend college. We have a 100% graduation rate. All of our students apply and go to the college of their choice. So the curriculum is set up to prepare them. In 9th and 10th grade, they take the basic requirements that they need for their regions, and then 11th and 12th grade, they are focused on college-based curriculum.
Now, I need to focus in on this because I understand something that's very special. You have a 100% college enrollment rate.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
As today, 100% of our seniors receive college acceptance letter.
Really?
Yes.
So what is the secret sauce? I mean, come on now, because you guys are really doing it in the world. What do you think is the secret sauce here?
I believe that we have different ingredients that we put it together with this wonderful formula that is working for us and for the community for 18 years.
Okay. Well, and for you, how do you feel?
Yeah, the same. You know, we just do, there's two things, right? There's the academics, that we are a very rigorous curriculum, and we hold the students to a very high standard. But we also have a very small community feel. We know all the students individually, their families, like just like how you were having your own experience going to college in your home. You have to go to college. Your grandmother, your aunts, your uncles are telling you that. That's the way all the staff feels, the faculty, the operational staff. We're all rooting for our students.
Yeah.
Also to add, when we enroll the student in our school, they don't have other options. So we put it in their mind as soon as the parents enroll the child in the school that they're going to college. Right. So everything around the school, our day start with college and end in college. So everything is about college career, explore option, and prepare the student for the college that they want to attend.
And so as you look at your students right now, you got to be happy. 100% get, the college acceptance. But when we talk about curriculum, we know the curriculum is very rigorous at the same time. So for a student that's coming, or a parent that's trying to send a student to a school such as yours, what can they expect?
So like I said, we have very high standards. We have an extended day. We start at 7:30, end at 4:30. We also do tutoring after school. That's till 5:30. We implement a Saturday academy. So some of the students may not like hearing all of that, but that's the way we make sure that our students are prepared for the real world. And we have rigorous standards, not just in academics, but also in character building, leadership skills. We want to impart our scholars with the skills that they need to function in the real world.
Right, because you don't just offer, classes in a curriculum, you also offer students an opportunity to serve.
Yes.
Correct.
So talk about that serving and how people have the opportunity students I should say, have the opportunity to serve, and how your school is, a little different in this area.
Yes, I believe that a lot of things make us different. I always said to the parents when they enroll the child in the school that we're a family-oriented school. It's an extended family. Each student is very important for us, is unique for us, along with the family. So we not only enroll the child, we enroll the entire family, and we keep connecting in every single day. So we explore all aspects of the students and any way that we can serve the student and the family and connect the student and the family with the right resources that they need to be successful in life.
So for a parent out there saying, listen, I want to get my child connected. This is great. I'm seeing the success rate, people going to college, and the atmosphere is really special. How do they go about connecting with your school?
So right now we are accepting application for the 6th, 7th, 9th, and 10th grade. We have a big amount of application already, but the application system is ready. We have they can apply through the Common App. They can go straight to our website. They can apply, or they just can pass by the school and call me and call the school and set up an appointment. I have an open house every Wednesday. We everywhere.
Right.
We have 1,000 of applications already. Our lottery is in April 5th, but we welcome all the families to apply to our wonderful schools.
And Desiree, I know that there's some breaking news here because you also have a school in Montefiore.
Yes, so we are really excited about the middle school. So that is something that the CEO and founder, Dr. Elaine Ruiz-Lopez, really wanted to create. So we're basically creating the first school for students to go into and then get automatic acceptance into the high school. So we're going to have 6th, 7th, and 8th grade there, and then the high school grades 9 to 12. So currently we have a 6th grade. Next year we'll have a 7th grade. The following year will be fully grown at 8th grade. We're super excited. It's a STEM-based curriculum. The students take what they learn there and get automatic enrollment into the high school, so they're able to have that full, experience of the International Leadership Charter Schools.
Yeah. And so for yourselves, obviously, I do this a lot, right? And I know when people are just like, I'm here for my job. But the reality is there's something special about what you feel. I can sense that the both of you feel something special about your school. What is it?
I believe that we're so passionate about what we're doing. This is our community, it's our future. And I always said to the families, we're planting seeds that is going to grow in our community. And they come back to our community. We have a few of our alumni that are actually working in our school. Mm-hmm. So there's our social work graduated from our school. We have another member of our student who graduated in operations team. We also have in the past teachers. So it's like you planting, you growing, and then you come back to our community. Mm. And this is wonderful.
Yeah. So, Desiree, as we're here in March, we're getting towards the end of the school year. What can we expect, and what are students expecting right about now?
So right now, our seniors are waiting for their official acceptance letter. Mm-hmm. They received unofficial notification. We do a great celebration for them. We do a decision day breakfast. They come wearing all the swag from the school that they chose. All the other grades cheer them, and we do like all this noise in the hallways and celebrate them. Yes. Because for a 9th grader, that's going to be them in the future. So we want to let them know that's the same expectation we have for them, and that's the same celebration we're going to do for them.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So there's still time for people if they want to get enrolled.
Of course, yes, because we're accepting applications for September 2024.
Yeah. What is it that sticks out the most about your school? Obviously, you got a lot of great things happening, but for you, what is it that sticks out the most, Edilis?
I believe that what makes us very special also, it's a safe school. Mm-hmm. Parents feel safe when they go to work. They are in peace, that their child is in a place that we're caring, that they're safe, and nothing is going to happen just to learn and get a good education. We have our own building, which is good about our school, and that distinguishes us also. Because other schools, they're sharing a space, so that make the school not that safe. Our school, we have our own building. We have 3 floors. We divide the floors by grade, so the students do not interact with other grade. Everything is very organized. The students go class by class in line. We have uniform policy. We have visitors there that go to our school and say, hey, this is a school. It's no noise, it's no distraction, it is atmosphere to learn. That's what we provide to our students.
Deion Sanders has to say, he says, I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm going to come check y'all out. I really am. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming and sharing. I think that, you know, so many times when we talk about education, we talk about what's wrong, right? And you guys have really been a great example of really what's going right. And to see 100% college acceptance rate, that's something we're talking about.
That's wonderful.
I'm glad to have you guys here with us.
Yes, thank you.
So
I just want to say to conclude, I want to share the quote for our CEO and school founder, Dr. Elaine Ruiz Lopez. We change lives and transform communities one scholar at a time. That's what we do at International Leadership Charter High School.
Thank you so much.
You're
appreciate
welcome.
that. Edilis, thank you. Desiree,
Thank you for having us.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, listen, I want you to know if you want more information, go ahead and visit the website, ilchs.org, and then follow them on Instagram at International Leadership CHS. We encourage you, don't go anywhere. We're coming back with more Open right after this.
Only 57% of New York City high school students are college ready by their senior year. "55% of high school graduates either have no plans to attend college or are uncertain that they will ever attend. "34% of young adults don't go to college because they can't afford it. Discover what's possible. BronxNet's education programs, internships, and opportunities help engage and inspire Bronx youth and beyond to pursue their passions. Be a part of the BronxNet family. Whether you're interested in our shows, joining a class, or donating to support our mission, visit BronxNet.org to learn more.
And we are back. You know, maintaining good health and being mindful of your dietary choices, sometimes it's a significant challenge. However, opting for healthier alternatives doesn't necessitate a complete overhaul of your diet. That's what a lot of people think. I gotta change my diet, I gotta do this, but listen, it doesn't always necessitate that. Our reporter, Brittany Aubain, she stepped down and she got the chance to speak with the Senior Medical Director of EmblemHealth, Sandra Rivera Luciano, and she talks about this in her interview.
Dr. Luciano, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
So let's just get right into it, right? Nutrition is essential for overall health. We hear it all the time. So can you explain what constitutes a balanced diet and why it's important for maintaining good health?
Well, you know, the important thing about nutrition is that it really goes across a whole span of your lifetime, and what's important is balance, and that you're able to drink liquids, more liquids, choose healthier options, stay with more vegetables, more greens, incorporate your cultural foods, but also be mindful that it's important to have a balance of greens, of protein, of complex carbohydrates, and drink a lot of liquids, especially water. So that in itself is a balanced diet, and that goes throughout a whole spectrum of your lifetime, depending on your needs and growth and physical activity.
You know, I like that you mentioned the idea of keeping your cultural foods involved in your diet, right? Because I love a good plate of arroz con gandules, just like a lot of my other Puerto Ricans do. But unfortunately, I wouldn't make that a daily meal, right? I don't think that's something that we would do every single night. So with that, you know, making healthy food choices can be so challenging, especially when there's so many tempting options in the stores and everywhere that you go. So what are some small changes that individuals can make in their diet?
I think, first of all, I think you should start by trying to cook at home, to embrace cooking at home, keeping it simple, trying to stay away from high fatty meats and frying food, utilizing the air fryer, broiling certain vegetables. You could have the rice and beans. We need that, right? It has nice carbohydrates and proteins, but you could also make it in a less fatty manner. And there's so many options and recipes out there that are embracing our foods so that they could be healthy and also enjoyable.
100%. And now, for individuals with specific medical conditions or dietary issues, making healthy swaps in their diet can be just a little bit more challenging. So what advice would you give to somebody in their situation who wants to make healthier choices?
I think depending on the chronic conditions that you have, for instance, let's take diabetes, you want to be able to utilize more protein, stay away from the sugary type of snacks or cakes, anything that has a high sugar content. That doesn't mean that you don't need sugar or that you don't like sweet, type of choices, but you would maybe stick to like fresh fruits, try to stay with low-fat yogurt that has a low sugar content. And it's just being mindful, I believe, and reading the labels and trying to stay away from the high sugary processed type of foods and snacks.
Absolutely. And speaking of snacks, can you discuss some of the food swaps that you mentioned, right? Replacing baked goods with dark chocolate or swapping chips for maybe nuts or popcorn. So tell me a little bit about these healthier alternatives without sacrificing taste.
Well, like always, it's a matter of getting used to, promoting those swaps and being comfortable with it. So dark chocolate is a great idea. You could use it for baking. Popcorn, there's all kinds of popcorn. It doesn't need to be buttery. It doesn't need to be slathered with butter and salt. So that's a great idea. A handful of nuts provides, a lot of energy and keeps you satisfied longer. So you're not picking and snacking all day. So I think those elements are very important. If you could just incorporate that in small changes at a time, I think you'll be successful.
And can you also explain why reducing cholesterol intake is important for heart health and how incorporating seafood can help achieve this?
Well, the great thing about seafood is that it has good fats, right? And those are the fats that prevents our arteries from being clogged. So trying to develop a way of eating more, let's say, fish or staying away from red meat, that will help with lowering your cholesterol. You need fat in your diet. It's not to say that fat is not important, but having more omegas, having less saturated fats, that is what helps in less accumulation of fat in your arteries. And obviously could help with the prevention of chronic diseases like heart disease, coronary artery disease that's so prevalent in our, in our culture and in our communities.
100%. And going back to maybe the idea of the sweet tooth for a moment, right? Greek yogurt with fresh fruit is recommended as a healthier dessert option compared to things like ice cream. So can you elaborate on the nutritional benefits of Greek yogurt and how it can contribute to a balanced diet?
Yes, for sure. So not all yogurts are the same. We know that there's a lot of different yogurts that have a lot of high sugar content, a lot of coloring. So if you just stick to a plain yogurt, Greek yogurt, and add the fruits or nuts, you're getting at least 9 to 11 grams of protein, which is so helpful. And it really it helps with also keeping you satisfied as a snack and throughout the day. So I believe that having that combination of swapping, let's say, instead of a regular yogurt that you see in the store, and keeping something that's low sugar, more Greek plain yogurt, I think that's a great swap and it really helps. And if you like the sweet tooth, add some cinnamon, add some fruits, and it tastes the same and it tastes better also, and you're gonna feel better. At the beginning, it may not feel that nice, so you may not like it, but as you keep doing it, small changes make the difference. And I think that's really important, and also involving your family and your friends and having the same type of behaviors. I think that's important.
I feel like I'm on the right track. I love a good Greek yogurt with some granola and fruit in the morning. It's something light, but it's fulfilling. So I think this was a great thing to hear, a great boost. So let's talk about EmblemHealth, right? They offer resources to help New Yorkers make healthier food choices, including blog posts and videos on healthy food alternatives. So can you tell us more about these resources and how individuals can access them?
Well, there's a couple. So EmblemHealth in particular has neighborhood care locations throughout the whole 5 boroughs. We also have a site in the Bronx in Southern Boulevard, And anyone, you don't have to be a member, could walk into these centers and participate in our fitness classes, our nutrition classes, and even ask for help. You could also get on our website, EmblemHealth.com, and get information. So I believe that this could be the beginning. Obviously, also talking to your primary care physician is also very important, because every person is different and everyone has different needs. But I think just walking into one of our locations would be a great start.
Dr. Rivera, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing these tips.
Thank you so much for having, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you. For more information, you can visit the website at EmblemHealth.com and follow them on social media at EmblemHealth. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Open right after this.
Hello, BronxNet. Happy 30 years. 30-year anniversary. Boy, that went by fast. And also, my 10 years here at BronxNet has gone by even faster. I have a show called Just Give Me the Mic. My name is Deborah Coco, and I just love everything about BronxNet. What I've learned here, I've actually taken my studio production class, my field production class, and doing the show here has opened up so many avenues for me. It led me to acting and meeting some incredible people. I've been hosting and just having an incredible ride. So I still love coming to the studio and having my face-to-face interviews just like it was day one when I came into the studio. BronxNet has opened up so many opportunities for people within our community. But nonetheless, happy 30th anniversary, and keep on helping people to create their own dreams within the media industry.
Welcome back. Video stands as the foremost tool in businesses' arsenal, yet many people grapple when it comes to traditional content production methods, which sometimes often prioritize the business or the creator rather than the community they serve. Now, in a revolutionary book, our next guest introduces a fresh video communication approach rooted in authentic human connections. Here now to tell us more is the author of Legendeering, Tom Langan. And thank you so much, Tom, for being with us. Good to have you, brother.
Thank you very much for having me, Daren. It's a pleasure to be here with you guys.
Hey, listen, I am excited to talk to you because when I think about your work and I think about what we're talking about here, I am a proponent that we have lost the art of human relationships. We have become more individualistic. Our relationships system is broke from my perspective. And so hearing you and hearing the work that you're doing, talk to us a little bit about how to bring that back.
Yeah, I mean, I 100% agree with you, Daren. I think, the way, from my perspective, I'm looking at particularly how businesses communicate with the communities that they seek to serve. And from my perspective, I think that communication pathway is kind of fundamentally broken. And I think it's fundamentally broken due in large part to factors that have been in play for, almost 50 years, really in our economics and economic policies and the sort of leaders that we venerated in business. And so what I'm trying to do really is to get people, particularly in the business world, because a lot of the communications we see and then emulate in our personal lives start with business communications, start with the advertising that we kind of take in on a daily basis and on social media, which all of us are on probably more than we should be. So what I'm trying to do is really trying to fix that communication pathway in the hopes that it'll lead to better relationships all around. And really at its core, all I'm trying to do is get businesses to talk to people like they're people.
Right.
Because that's what's broken. That's where the disconnect happens, is businesses don't treat people like people. They treat people like dollars and cents on a profit and loss statement. They treat people like data points on a spreadsheet in their marketing reports or in their sales reports. They don't treat people like people. And I'm just trying to get businesses to return to that sort of mode of communications where people come first and profits follow.
Let me,
rather than
and I'm gonna ask you to unpack that a little bit further. So when we talk about treating people like people, seeing people for people, you're the author of the book Legendeering. Walk us through this. How do we get to the place where we can do that? What's needed?
Yeah, I mean, at its core, I think really what it comes down to is following something that we're all actually familiar with, whether we know the name for it or not. It's this thing called the rule of reciprocation, right? All the most meaningful relationships in our lives are built around an exchange of value. I mean, in my life, for example, my relationship with my wife is built around an exchange of value. I do things for her, I bring value to her life. She does things for me. She brings value to my life. We don't keep score. We just both give value back and forth, right? And what we're doing really is following this thing that social psychologists call the rule of reciprocation, which, if you boil it down, basically says you cannot take or receive without giving in return, right? And it's something we're all taught to follow from the time we're very, very young. You see an adult interacting with a very young child, like 18 months old, somebody who's pre-verbal, they can't even speak yet. You see that adult interacting with that child, and what'll happen is that adult will go to hand something to that child. And as that child's little hand comes up to take that thing from that adult, the adult will say to them, or words to that effect, and now you say thank you, right? Something along those lines. I think we're all kind of familiar with that sort of situation or have seen that happen. And really what that adult is doing is they're teaching that child from a time before they can even speak, that when someone gives you something, you give them gratitude in return, that you cannot take or receive without giving in return. So really that's the kind of the basis, the sort of core foundation building block to this whole strategy and what I'm trying to do, this mission I'm on to humanize the world of business, is really all built on this idea that you cannot take or receive without giving in return, that when someone gives, you give back, and you continue to exchange that value in a way that benefits each other, that it's not a one-way street. It's not just a transaction. It's really an exchange of value back and forth.
Yeah. And we talk about you talk about building communities like through this way and seeing communities actually being built this way. Let's talk about the return on investment. What do you feel is the return on investment when a business begins to use this approach and when we begin to see ourselves going more towards community, more towards people?
I mean, I think the return on investment is long-term sustainability in your business, right? So you can't really measure in a dollars and cents way a return on investment with this kind of strategy, which actually I think is a strength, right? Because it means that it doesn't get sort of quantified in the same way that a lot of other things are quantified, which again is part of the problem that we're trying to overcome, right? So the return on investment is really long-term sustainable success in your business. I think for anybody watching this, for you yourself, Daren, if you think of sort of some of your favorite businesses that you like to patronize, right, that you enjoy supporting them because you feel good about supporting them because there is this exchange of value. You feel that they give to you as much, if not more, than you give to them. You often feel like it's the least you can do to support them or to tell your friends and your family about how great this business is. I'll give you an example from my own life. I've got some friends who are now friends of mine who weren't friends of mine when I first had this interaction with them. I didn't know them. They own a liquor store up in the Hudson Valley called Boutique Wine, Spirits, and Ciders, right? And I went in there just kind of looking around, looking for something, looking for a bottle of whiskey. And I ended up in a long conversation with one of the owners, it's a brother and sister that own this place. I ended up in a long conversation with the brother, and he ended up inviting me back for a tasting they were doing. And then we ended up striking up a long conversation there. And one thing led to another. Several years later, they have built this huge community around their store. And it's because they really work hard to try to get to know everybody that comes in, to understand your taste, to understand what you like and what you don't like, so that they can make good recommendations. And I all the time hear people recommending them, say like, look, you'll go in, even if you don't find anything, you're going to have a good experience. You're going to learn something about wine, about cider, about your favorite spirits. You're going to enjoy the interaction. They're going to invite you back for an event that they have coming up. And overall, it's going to become your favorite place to go shop, right? So those kinds of interactions, they really understand that sort of person-to-person interaction. And what I'm trying to do, what I'm working with businesses and organizations to do is to bring that kind of care to the video content that they initially reach out with, that they initially put out, to build community, to start sowing those seeds a little sooner.
And I got to go, but before we leave, I got to get the people the opportunity to find out about the book. If they want to get in touch and find out more about the book and get connected with you, let's do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Daren. I really appreciate that. So for my business, you can always check out our website. It's talexmedia.com. You can find me all over social media if you just search at Talex Media LLC. And for more information about the book, which is available everywhere books are sold, you can just go to legendeering.io.
All right. Tom, we got to leave it there, but I want to thank you, man, and hopefully we'll get a chance to connect real soon and keep up the great work.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for your time this morning, Daren. I appreciate it.
All righty. Take care. Tom Langan, our guest here, author of the book Legendeering, talking about building community. Now, for more information, visit the website at legendeering.io. And we want to encourage you, don't go anywhere, because guess what? We got more open coming up right after this.
Hey everyone, it's your girl Kat from the Kitty Rose Lifestyle, also from The Next Chapter, where we discuss shades of gray every week right here at BronxNet, Saturdays at 11 p.m. Wow, 30 years. 30 years of BronxNet public access television. I'm a girl from Brooklyn and came to the Bronx 25 years ago, started my journey on BronxNet on public access television in 2016, and BronxNet is where I got my start. BronxNet, I feel like, is a home away from home. They support all of my endeavors, and I wouldn't have been able to be on any of the other channels if it wasn't for the fundamentals that I learned right here at my start here at BronxNet. So I am so appreciative. My son says I should stop telling people I'm from Brooklyn because I've been here now, Bronx Strong, for 22 years. So I'm so grateful, and I wish you much success in 30 years, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30 more, because public access is necessary so that people like myself can have a voice. Yes, BronxNet, it's your girl Kat from Kitty Rose. Check me out every Saturday at 11 p.m. right here, Channel 68, The Next Chapter, where we discuss shades of gray. Mwah.
And welcome back. In 2014, freelance journalist James Jim W. Foley was captured in Syria and publicly beheaded by ISIS after being held hostage for nearly 2 years. Jim's mother, Diane Foley, has made it her life's mission to share her son's story and continue his legacy of moral courage. Joining us now is the mother, Diane Foley, and we thank you so much, Diane, for joining us and sharing with us. And how you doing?
I'm good, Daren. Thank you for your time today.
No, thank you, and thank you for actually taking the time to, share this story, because your son's story was not just an American tragedy, international tragedy, but as a mother, you have vowed to take his life and his legacy and take it to another level.
Well, Jim challenged me. Jim was very passionate about journalism and wanted our country, fellow Americans, to know about what's happening in different parts of the world. So he dared to go there and bring stories home to us. So he's challenged me to find some good out of the tragedy we've experienced.
Yeah. For yourself, honestly, it was an arduous experience knowing that you had a loved one that's actually captured by international terrorists, and then having to do that negotiation piece. Talk to me a little bit about, journalists, because we are on the front lines of a lot of things, but if you're a family member of a journalist, that's one of the dangers of what could possibly be. And so for yourself, I know that you've done some work with families right now of journalists and those who have been on those front lines. And talk to me about the conversation that you're having.
Well, 3 weeks after Jim was killed, we started the James W. Foley Legacy Foundation to prioritize the return of innocent Americans who are targeted for kidnapping or wrongful detention abroad, and to promote journalist safety, particularly with aspiring journalists. and to inspire moral courage. So I was very challenged after Jim was killed to somehow find some way to use the tragedy for good for others. And since 2014, more than 100 innocent Americans have come home, and our country now has a hostage enterprise that works very hard to seek to free innocent Americans who are targeted abroad, like journalist Evan Gershkovich or Alsu Kurmashiva, both who have been targeted and wrongfully detained in Russia, along with Paul Whelan. And we have fellow Americans being held in China, in Iran, in Syria. So it's a continued national security challenge for our country. Yeah. And I want to make fellow Americans aware.
You know, we have a challenge when it comes to the hostage policy here in the United States, and I know a lot of people have had various different thoughts about that. Talk to me about your thought on the hostage policy here in the United States, and what can we as Americans actually do to raise our voice in cooperation with this?
Well, I would invite your listeners to read my book, American Mother, written with the help of Irish author Colin McCann. American Mother is a short book, but it's written to raise awareness of fellow Americans about the challenges we face as being targeted abroad. And our country since then has made strides. We now have a hostage enterprise who helps Americans be freed abroad, but it's still very difficult work. And the threat continues, and we need to work together with our Western partners to prevent hostage taking abroad, if you will.
Yeah. Your life has really, has taken shape since Jim's death, and you've really elevated the cause and made sure that his death wasn't in vain. As I talked about the book, you've also got all of the donations for the book going towards the foundation.
Well, a good portion of the donations do, but we always, as any small nonprofit, need the help of generous people who care about national security and fellow Americans who are being held hostage or wrongfully detained around the world. So I would invite any of your listeners to go to jamesfoleyfoundation.org to get a personalized copy of the book or to donate to our work. I so appreciate that, Daren.
Yeah. And we definitely will spread the word, and that's what we're doing right now is we're spreading the word. I want to go back for a moment because there was a critical part in this whole scenario. After Jim's death, I know that there was the court, and you had an opportunity actually to meet with one of your son's murderers in a court in Virginia. And if you could just go back for a moment, and I just wanted to ask you that moment, because I know that a lot of people talk about it. You talk about things in the book. But can you share with us a little bit about that moment? Was that a moment of closure? What was going on in that moment for you?
Well, it was kind of interesting. First of all, it took several years to find these two British jihadists who were responsible for kidnapping and torturing the 4 young Americans. But then to get them to the United States was also a lot of hard work by FBI and Scotland Yard. When they finally came to Virginia, one of them pleaded guilty to all 8 charges of kidnapping, torture, and accessory to murder. So that was Alexander Cody, and he also offered to meet with victims. So I did have the opportunity to meet with him 3 times, and it was healing in many ways. He expressed a lot of remorse. He listened to me tell him about Jim, and I tried to be open to listening to his reasons for entering ISIS and becoming part of all that the horror that ISIS inflicted on Syria and so many innocent people. Yeah. So part of it was good, though. I think we must find ways to talk to people we disagree with or hate, if you will, because everybody loses with hatred, Daren.
Yeah, indeed. You You won't get me to doubt you on that one there. And thank you for sharing a little bit about that, because it demonstrates courage, strength, and also love and grace, which is something that so many people don't have in a day like today. What's the message that you have for people who find themselves in similar situations, families of journalists who are really out there on the front lines? We know that we've got a war going on right now, and anything is really liable to happen and can happen, and we've seen it happen. What's the message that you have for families out there of journalists about really just having that right mindset?
Well, I'd like your listeners to value our brave journalists. I mean, if we don't know what's happening in the world, in our country, and how can we protect our own freedom and democracy? So I've come to really value brave journalists, journalists like yourself who help us know what's going on in the world. I think that's one thing. And I also would like your listeners to recognize that very ordinary people like myself can, in our small way, make a difference by choosing to dare to make a difference for others. That we need to use whatever gifts we have to have moral courage, to dare to do good and try to make a difference in this world. Everybody's needed in this world.
Indeed. Diane, it's been great talking to you. I'm going to talk to my producer because I want to talk to you some more, and we're going to have to find a way to bring you back, and we'll definitely get you to talk a little bit more about this, because I think it's such a passionate topic that so many of us are not really talking about, but we do need to talk about. So Diane Foley, president and founder of the James W. Foley Legacy Foundation, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, Daren, for your time. Appreciate you.
Appreciate
Take
you
care.
too. You take care now. Listen, if you want more information, visit the website, jamesfoleyfoundation.org, and don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more with Open right after this.
Happy anniversary to BronxNet, 30 years. Wow, brings back so many memories. This exact studio that I'm in right now, I broadcast out of here. This must have been around 2003. I mean, time flies by so quickly. I started out here, it was either Mr. Gary Axelbank and Mr. Batch with Lady Morsar. We used to do a show here called In the Neighborhood. And I brought so many different guests on this show. To be able to bring your voice to the community is very powerful. To bring hip hop and spirituality, I brought my pastor in this same studio, Pastor Gino Jennings, and I'm sure you guys know who Pastor Gino Jennings is. That's rough. And some disciplined teaching. BronxNet is something that we need to uplift our communities, because this is a platform that we can come, and if you have a vision that's in your mind going into your heart, you can use it to do uplifting things for your community.
And we are back. The McDonald's Gospelfest remains the nation's preeminent gospel celebration. It brings joy, inspiration, encouragement, and hope to millions of people. Now, the event finally making its way right here to the borough of the Bronx. The performance will also include tri-state area gospel talents, such as choirs, praise dancers, and soloists. And here now to tell us more, we've got the Emmy Award-winning producer and director of McDonald's Gospelfest, A. Curtis Farrow, and he's going to tell us it's happening right here in our backyard. And my brother, glad to have you here, man. Yeah, you know, a variety of different platforms, but here it is.
Yeah, here we are. Here we are. My brother.
Good
my
to have
brother.
you, man.
You
Thank
are
you so
truly
much.
my brother.
Yes, and you are too. You are too.
Yeah.
Glad to have you.
You too. You too. I'm so proud of the work you do, and I love coming here and seeing all these young people do this work, and it's amazing what you all do here, and congratulations.
Thank you. We try to do, as old folks say, we try to put in a good day's work.
A good day's work.
A good day's work. Listen, you got a good day's work ahead of you.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. You know, for years, Bronxites or Bronxins, the Bronx has been begging me, Mr. Farrow, please bring the McDonald's Gospelfest. Mr. Farrow, please bring the McDonald's Gospelfest. So we, as you know, we were always in Madison Square Garden for years. And then we moved from Madison Square Garden to the Prudential Arena in Newark.
Right.
Huge, 18,000 seats, you know, always great turnout. It's always phenomenal. But God put it on my heart last year, and he was like, you know what? It's time to go back to foundation. And when, in the beginning, over 42 years ago, when they first started McDonald's Gospelfest, it used to only be in the churches. And it used to be a tour of the churches. And I said, okay, we're gonna go back to foundation. So we'll start off with one church this year, and we'll do one theater, but we're gonna go back to New York, and we will still be in Jersey as well. So we'll do 3 shows. So then we decided we'll go to the Cornerstone Baptist Church, Reverend Acre in Brooklyn, and you know, it's a historic church. And then I said, okay, we love the Lehman for the Center for the Performing Arts. The folks there, they are just phenomenal. And so we said, let's partner with them. And so we decided, hey, we're gonna come to the Bronx. And I was like, oh, thank you, God. Because I don't have to hear the Bronx folks beat me up all the time.
Well,
When
listen,
are you
you
gonna
know,
bring it to the Bronx?
they've been asking for a minute whether or not
Yes.
you were coming. And honestly, you have had, you know, people from the Bronx participate in
all the
McDonald's
time. The
Gospelfest
Bronx
all
is
the
one
time.
of our largest, yes.
Right, and
Yes.
and won.
Yeah, and
So-
won. It's one of our largest participation is the Bronx.
Right.
The Bronx, the Bronx is gospel music. They love gospel music here as a part of the kingdom music, as a part of an art form. The Bronx is big when it comes to gospel music.
So talk to me a little bit about what's going to happen, because we got April 20th, we got Lehman
April the
College
20th,
right here, right?
Lehman, yes, it's the Lehman Center for the Performing Arts, which is right here on the campus, and we're excited. So that evening, each area has 2 categories, and that evening, that category, I believe, is the male soloists and the rappers. But on top of that, we have, of course, the major stars. And so because we were going back to foundation, you know, I decided that I wanted to go back and get somebody who represented the foundation of gospel music. And really, when I thought about who was still out there and vibrant and still doing it, there were 2 people that I thought of that I needed to have come and be a part of this. And the first one was the First Lady of Gospel Music, Shirley Caesar.
Right.
Right. So once we got Shirley Caesar, we were done. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, there's nobody out there right now who represents gospel music like Shirley Caesar. Nobody. Even all these young folks who are out there, they're good, they're doing a great work. But I mean, represent the foundation of gospel music. Shirley Caesar, and for those of you who haven't seen Shirley Caesar, you are going to be in for a night of gospel music, of churching. You're going to have a good time.
Right.
So then once we got Shirley, I said to myself, wait a minute. Whenever you can't get Shirley, they always go to this next lady. And I said, you know what? We're going to make this night be phenomenal. We're going to make it be off the chart. I said, I'm going to see if she'll come. Can you imagine having her and Shirley on the same night? So then I called Dottie Peoples, and Dottie was like, of course I'll be there, young man. So Dottie is coming. So we have Dottie Peoples and Shirley Caesar.
Wow.
That right there alone is incredible. So then we were like, okay, we need to put something else in the mix. So then we called Byron Cage. The blessing of the Lord is here.
Right.
You know, that's going to get everybody on their feet. So we called Byron. Byron's coming with his crew, and it's going to be a phenomenal night. And of course, you know us, we're going to have a couple more surprises. We got to keep some surprises so people live. We didn't know we were going to see, you know.
Exactly.
But we're excited. But it's in the Bronx, the Lehman Center for the Performing Arts. Tickets are they can go to lehmancenter.org or just go on the Lehman Center for the Arts website. It'll tell you where to go. But get your tickets now. Tickets are going. And you want to be in the house, especially in the Bronx. The Bronx has got to show up big.
The Bronx always shows up big. I mean, we don't ever have to worry about the Bronx. You never showed up, but we still want you to get those tickets. Though.
Yeah, go get those tickets.
But talk to me about this here, because how much of it is it harder, considering when you have McDonald's Gospelfest at Prudential Center, and now you're going to different locations? How much harder is it for you?
You know what? I got to tell you, I feel revived. And that's our theme this year. Our theme is revival. But I feel revived because it's allowing us to get more into the community. So we're not just in the Prudential and we're waiting for the community to come to us.
Right.
I feel like we're doing the opposite. We're going to the community. We're going to Brooklyn. We're going to the Bronx. We're still going to be in Jersey. So it's actually more exciting. And my team and I, we were just saying, for some reason, it feels easier.
Right.
I think because people are so grateful and so excited. And I think the excitement behind being in the Bronx, the excitement behind bringing Shirley Caesar is just amazing to me. And it's just like, you and I had a conversation before. To bring Shirley Caesar, it's a big deal.
Big.
You know what I mean? So it's exciting for me. People at the Prudential, we've had everybody from Aretha on through. We've had everybody. But this is coming off easier. I don't know if it's just because of the excitement of doing something different and going back to foundation. It actually seems easier than the Prudential. The Prudential is a lot of work.
It is
It's a lot of work. And filling 18,000 seats, it's not easy, y'all.
I know. So listen, fill up we want to make sure we're filling up over there at Lehman College too, right?
Yes.
Lehman College.
Lehman Center for the Performing Arts.
And if you don't know, I was driving down Golden Avenue. I already saw this big, huge flyer out
Yes.
there already. So on the gate. So
It's
make
beautiful.
sure you get it.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this question. We were talking to
Sure.
a guest before just a few seconds ago, talking about branding and community, right?
Yes.
And you're like prime example A about what
Yes.
this is, right? Because in addition, this is Gospelfest,
Yes.
but it's McDonald's Gospelfest.
Correct.
And a partnership that's actually happened between McDonald's and the community. And we're going to
Yes.
talk about that in a few minutes on another platform. But I
Right.
want you to just share a little bit about what that means to have McDonald's partnering with you for
Right.
this many years. Here we are in 2024.
Right. So McDonald's has been doing this now 43 years. So 43 years ago, a group of Black McDonald owner-operators got together and decided they wanted to do something as a give back to the community. And they came up with the idea for McDonald's Gospelfest. They also are the original ones, the first ones to ever turn that word festival into just fest. So that McDonald's Gospelfest started it all. And as you know now, we got every fest that you can think
Right,
of.
right.
Car Fest,
Mega Fest,
right,
right.
Glass Fest, there's
Right,
every
right,
kind of
right,
fest.
right.
But they were the ones that came up with that idea. And it was truly a give back to the community. The main thing was that even it's really about going in the community and allowing the community to be a part of it. Even with this, can I just share this real too?
Yeah.
Even if there's some high school kids or some college kids out there who want to be production assistants for this event, they can call us at 973-643-6262. It's a give back. And they will get a stipend too.
Wow.
McDonald's wants to make sure that this is a part of the community and we're giving back to the community. And that's really what this is all about. It's really a wonderful program. It's the longest program of any program, especially gospel program. So we're excited about that. And I'm excited that they took the initiative to do it and they've stayed with us for all of these years.
And it's amazing to think about, the great work that's going on and to be able to do this 40-something years. We're going to talk more about this at a later time, but I'm going to end this one here, right here. But
no problem.
Thank you so much, Curtis.
Thank you so much.
All right,
And
bro.
I hope to see you there. I want folks to come and see you. He's going to be on the stage too.
I'll be on the stage. I
Yes,
will be. Yes,
yes.
I will be. All right. Well, listen, for more information, follow Curtis on Facebook at A. Curtis Farrow. Want to let you know we come to the end of our show today. Want to thank all of our guests for joining us. You, the viewer, for tuning in as well. Now, if you missed any part of today's show, you can catch Recablecast on Optimum's Channel 67 or Verizon Files Channel 2133. You can catch a brand new episode of Open with Rita Valentine on Friday. And this about wraps up this episode for us. I am Daren Jaime, saying make sure to keep this channel wide open, saying take care, God bless, talk to you soon.